Joseph Becker, student number 5105527. Research question 1 aims to determine what attributes are most important when purchasing meat or pork. In doing so, it is critical to determine how invested young adults are on whether or not they have the final say on what meat to buy. Graph 1 shows that 62.85% of the 473 respondents state they make suggestions and/or make decisions on what meat to buy. Given a majority of these young adults actually make decisions on what meat to buy, it is necessary to distinguish which elements, nutrition, taste, package size, price, etc., have the most weight in their decision process. To define their preference of one element over the other, the respondents rated each on a scale from 1, very important, to 5, not at all. After collecting all the responses, taste on average was the most important attribute to the respondents with a mean score of 1.45, followed by expiration date, price, nutrients, ease of cooking, variety of options, and finally the package size with mean averages of 1.95, 1.97, 2.09, 2.27, and 2.65 respectively. After establishing the preferences of the overall sample size, we use the independent sample t-test to see if there are any differences between the male and female subpopulations within the selected elements. In graph 3, the elements which showed a significant difference between the male and female subpopulations are shown. The importance of ease of cooking, along with the importance of expiration date, were significantly different between the male and females, with women putting a much greater importance on both attributes when choosing their meat. In graph 4, we utilized a one-sample t-test, concluding 69.9% of young adults saw low original price of meat as an indicator of poor quality. Research question 2 aims to determine which factors of convenience, service, quality, and price are most important when choosing which store to purchase meat. The main findings of the critical patterns in behavior were 62.85% of all respondents, male and females, have input concerning the store at which their household purchases meat. Data was collected on which participants purchase meat on a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 hardly ever and 5 being almost every day. The most frequented locations in order are the supermarket, the butcher, the convenience store, and other locations, with averages of 3.38, 2.61, 1.55, and 1.49 respectively. Furthermore, the factors of convenience, service, quality, and price in relation to choosing from which store to purchase meat were rated on an importance scale, 1 meaning very important to 5 meaning not at all by respondents. On average, quality is the most highly regarded factor with a mean of 1.5, followed closely by price, convenience, and service with means of 1.77, 1.99, and 2.76 respectively. Within this finding, males and females differ in their ratings of service and convenience with a mean difference of negative 3.79 and negative 2.78 respectively. Therefore, females rating both factors as more important than males. We detected an association between gender and the importance rating when deciding where to buy meat exists for the store factor of service. For the various levels of average store visits with 2 supermarkets, we found through an ANOVA test that the rating of quality significantly differed, whereby respondents who visit supermarkets more often than those who do not rate it of greater importance to them.
My name is Amy Lindley, ZID 5016673. Research question 3 aims to identify which occasions people prefer to eat pork. But before doing so, we examine the current consumption patterns of pork. In comparison to other meat choices, such as chicken, beef, and lamb, pork is the 3rd most consumed meat. In our graph, 1 signifies hardly ever eating pork, which is represented by roughly 16.9% of respondents, and 5 means almost every day, which is represented by 5.3% of respondents. As depicted, pork is most commonly consumed about once a week. We now look at the meat preferences at fine dining restaurants, daily meal at home, fast food on the go, and food at a party. On average, pork is most preferred to be eaten at fine dining restaurants, which is represented by 10.8%, followed by eaten at home, 9.7%, then at parties, 7.6%, and least preferred to be eaten at fast food on-the-go restaurants, which is represented by 4.9%. Research question 4 aims to identify which media channels young adults are most frequently engaged with.
Created using Powtoon.